Long Neck Josh. The Joey Deez. This is the Canvas Critique.
It's a new day! Yes, it is! Has just tipped up here tonight. Ruthless aggression. The irresistible force meeting the immovable object. R.K.O. He has broken his hand! Ooh, yeah! Yes! Can't see me.
This is my yard now.
What's it gonna do when Hulkamania in the largest arms in the world run wild on you? I lie! I cheat! I steal! Stone Cold! Stone Cold! Stone Cold! The Austin era has begun!
And that's the bottom line, cause Stone Cold said so.
The man.
The boyhood dream has come true. Just sit back, relax. It's gonna get good. Rest in
It's your boy Long Neck Josh back with another video, and welcome to the third episode of the Canvas Critique podcast. Of course, I am joined by my co-host, Mr. Deez Joey Deez.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to the third ever Canvas Critique. What's going on, Josh?
Not much. Today we got probably the best event of 2020 so far. Not gonna lie.
Yeah, pretty good one.
Definitely had the match of the year in my opinion, but we'll get to that when we can. Of course, we are talking about WWE Backlash 2020. So, yeah, you ready to just kick things off?
Yeah, let's do it, man.
All right, so we started off on the pre-show.
The kickoff show.
Pre-show,
now,
kickoff
you
show.
Said,
same thing.
You asked me if I was ready to kick it off. So we're going to kick it off with the kickoff show. It's not the pre-show. It's the kickoff show. We're going to make it sound a little more higher of a standard than the pre-show, the minor leagues. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I've gotcha.
Okay.
All right, well, anyways, on the kickoff show, newly crowned United States champion Apollo Crews defended his championship against the man he beat for the championship, Andrade. And this was a pretty good back-and-forth match. And, of course, Kevin Owens and Angel Garza got involved.
Of course.
So,
because nobody saw that coming.
Yeah. But ultimately, I hope this does lead to a fatal four-way. I'm so happy Apollo Crews is the U.S. champion.
Yes. Hell yeah, man. He deserves it. I don't know what took so long to actually finally not just give him the opportunity of the championship, but to give him the opportunity to do anything. I mean, the amount of TV time he's gotten since he's been there is very small. I don't know what the percentage would be, but I'm going to guess under 10% of his
and a lot of
main roster career has been on TV. Yeah, he hasn't been on TV, but so deserving of this.
And think about, like, he had that short stint with Titus O'Neil, Titus Worldwide.
Yep.
He had a lot of things. Really, they definitely could have done more with him, but he's champion now. I'm happy for him. He's been proving that. I think he's proved ever since his days in NXT that he's worthy of being a champion.
Yeah, he's a pure athlete.
I think the reason is because he kind of got called up too early, I think. But
yeah,
you can't go back and change that.
Yeah, you can't go back and change that. He got called up early, but if they had him up there, they could have, they still could have done better stuff with him. I know you said Titus Worldwide, and that was okay for a while, but other than that, nothing else really stands out to me as far as storylines or big matches, So it's never. It's better late than never, and I guess it's never too late. So yeah, very very happy for him. Pretty good match here, and just happy he retained his title and didn't lose it early on the kickoff show.
Of course. And I do hope to see a fatal four-way between these four because I believe they could all put on a clinic. All of them are very, very great athletes. Of course, you see Kevin Owens do things that most people his size can't do. Apollo Crews, same thing with him. And then, of course, Andrade and Angel Garza, they've proven time and time again that they are some of the best athletes in the WWE.
Yeah.
So
No doubt about it.
So yeah, Apollo Crews did retain his championship, and hopefully he'll be on the actual pay-per-view, not the kickoff show next for what's coming up, Extreme Rules.
Extreme Rules, yeah. And they're giving him like quite a bit of push now, going forward now after Backlash, since it's been a little while. He has remained on TV, even after the pay-per-view, he has remained on TV and still is getting his shine, and they're not forgetting about him, which is kind of my concern always in a situation like this. Like, are you going to put the title on him? Are you going to forget about him for 3 months, and then he's going to come back and drop it, But it doesn't seem like they're doing that. Cross our fingers that they don't,
Yeah.
But before we get into the main show, I want to just point out, if you're ready to go into the main show.
Yeah. Just go ahead and point out.
Just kind of how short the pay-per-view was in general, the entire show itself. We counted out 6 matches here, and before I blinked my eyes, this thing was over, and I'm okay with that because, I love wrestling, but the only time I want to sit in front of a TV for a long extended period of time and watch millions of matches on end is probably WrestleMania, because, or the Royal Rumble. But
really any of the big four.
Any of the big four, but a pay-per-view like this doesn't need to be more than 3 hours, or even 2.5 hours. I think this was like 2:45 or something. Yeah. And it was under 3 hours. This was shorter than a Raw. I was good with that because, normally by the time you get to the main event, you've seen everything. You've seen every move. Yeah. You've, your emotions have been up and down all night, throughout a long, 4-hour show. You've forgot what the first 4 or 5 matches were because you're on your 10th or 11th match now. So at the end of the night, it just kind of all meshes together and blurs together. This pay-per-view, this show for me, when it was over, I remembered everything that happened, clear as day. Woke up the next morning, didn't have to think back, who won this match, who won that match, how did it happen? It was all right there in my head because it was short and it was fresh. Yeah, and it was fresh. Like, these guys and girls are fresh. When it gets to that main event, now it's like, okay, we're excited. We still have energy. We want to see this match. We're not just watching it because we have to, We're watching it because we want to see this match. We still have that energy to watch this match and to sit through a 25
We're not just
or 30
watching
minute
it just to see who wins.
We're watching it because we are still
main
ready
event
to watch
for this pay-per-view, I think it was like 45 minutes long. Very good match, though, but we'll get to that.
What was 45?
When we come across it. I think the main event was 40 or 45 minutes. It was long, but it was good.
40 or 45, huh?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, yeah, I'm going to check that. All right, take it away, Josh. Kick it off the right way.
All right, we are now kicking off the main show. Of course, the Women's Tag Team Championships were defended, and this also was a very entertaining match. You had Bayley and Sasha Banks, the new champions, defend against the former champions Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss, and another pair of former champions, the Iconics. Yeah, before I say anything, every single one of these women delivered in this match.
Right. Definitely. You know what? Sasha and Bayley are the best thing going for women. And I don't care what anyone says about Bayley. I mean, she's not my favorite as a heel right now. But anything with Sasha and Bayley in it is good right now. The matches, segments, everything. They're good together. I mean, they always have been. We knew that. But just the way they are presenting themselves right now, and they push their opponents always to be the best because they're always doing something interesting. Sasha and Bayley are always doing something different in there. It's never the same thing, you know, and they're building more on their characters in this, obviously this story building to them eventually facing each other. But yeah, they're incredible to watch, man. I love, you know, when you're 10, 15 years down the road, 20 years, 50 years down the road, when you're talking about some of the greatest women's wrestlers of all time, these are two of them. And obviously the entire 4 horsewomen in the WWE are all great. But these are my two favorites. I mean, I love Becky, but I love seeing these two together. Just these two together is amazing.
They have great chemistry in the ring, and they've just proved time and time again that they work well with each other. And I've enjoyed pretty much every match that they've had together, whether it's against each other or with each other as a tag team. So I'm glad that they're the women's tag team champions. I am a little skeptical about Bayley being a double champion, but I guess I'll just have to wait for it to grow on me. But
oh, you mean Bayley Dos Straps?
Yes, Bayley Dos Straps.
Not Becky Two Belts. Bayley Dos Straps.
Yes. And honestly, I think it's better to have a double champion with a singles title and a tag team title. But that's just my personal opinion on it.
Wait, say that again? You said you're not sure how you feel?
No. I said personally, I think it's better for a double champion to have a singles title and a tag title rather than 2 singles titles. That's just my personal preference. So instead of having the Raw Women's Championship and the SmackDown Women's Championship.
Okay, I gotcha. But that's their only option because there isn't 2 singles titles for the women. There's only the main and the tag. So but I see what you're saying for the men. You instead of having like a world title and the U.S. title at the same time.
Right.
Gotcha. Yep. Gotcha.
But anyways, to start off the match, I believe it was Peyton Royce, Sasha Banks, and I want to say Alexa Bliss. It could have been Nikki. There was a series of roll-up attempts, and eventually all 3 teams squared off, had a little brawl in the ring. I think that was a great opening to this match. Just kept the energy up.
They've been starting with the women a lot lately on the pay-per-views.
They have, and the women have been delivering.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
Bliss hit Twisted Bliss on Royce. Banks got the pin on Bliss.
Yes. And, great match. Happy that Bayley and Sasha retained, and I'm definitely excited to see where they go with this going forward.
Yes.
To lead up to the eventual Banks versus Bayley match.
Do we get Sasha Dos Straps?
Maybe, because she is. Are you talking about for the Raw Women's Championship?
Yeah, give me that. And if Sasha Dos Straps or whatever, she might call it something different. But if they do that, they run the women's division.
Yeah.
Obviously, they'll have every title there is.
Oh, I'm so glad Charlotte Flair did not win the Raw Women's Championship last night.
Thank goodness.
She's think it had it.
I knew it wasn't going to happen anyways.
Yeah, she's a great athlete, don't get me wrong, but they're trying to cram all these 16 championship reigns into a span of, how many years has she been on the main roster? 5?
I don't know. She's going to be there for a long time, though, so I don't know why they're trying to cram them in.
Exactly.
I don't even know why they're trying to do it.
Ric Flair had at least a 30-year time period.
Why does Charlotte have to have a lot of titles? She's good, but she's not the best, in my opinion.
Exactly.
Anyways.
But we will get to the Raw Women's Championship later on. The second match, and this was actually my second favorite match of the night, Jeff Hardy versus Sheamus. These two put on a clinic. It was great storytelling and great wrestling match to. Well, I don't think they ended the feud, did they?
No.
Yeah,
absolutely not. Sheamus got the win. The feud's not over.
Yeah, but regardless,
Hardy's going to get his redemption.
My dad was surprised when Sheamus won because
I was too.
He really thought that this was going to be the way they were going with this whole storyline. Jeff Hardy finally gets his redemption because of the whole way.
I mean, Sheamus has been on top every week. I mean, he did the whole carjacking scene. He beat Hardy down on the ramp, threw him through the glass next to the ramp. He did a bunch of bro kick on the stage. He's been in charge the entire feud. And he's been in his head. So I don't know. I thought this was going to be where Hardy won. Maybe it's too soon for that. Maybe they want to continue.
Yeah.
There's a lot more story to tell here. You know, you got to remember Jeff Hardy has a deep history. And as much as I'm not a fan and I'm not okay with them using such a personal issue like that in a story, he obviously okayed it and is okay with doing it. I would hope they would have asked him if that was okay and didn't just make him do that because just knowing people who have been through alcoholism and drug problems and things like that, it's definitely not something you joke about. And this is a big joke on Jeff Hardy. I'm not saying a big joke on him, but it's a stupid story because it's true and real, but also it hurts. You know, it really does because it's obviously an issue in his life. We all know this. So I don't know, man. Like, why? You could have come up with something better for Jeff Hardy. I mean, he's a dude that he used to be Brother Nero, for crying out loud. Make this guy, make him Brother Nero or make him Willow or whatever the hell he used to be, and make him interesting, make him different. He doesn't have to be Jeff Hardy, that comes out and is young Jeff Hardy from the Hardy Boys from 1998. I love Jeff Hardy, but do something different with him. Don't bring his alcohol and drug problems up. Put paint on his face and make him act different, So.
Mm-hmm. But
it was an okay match.
Regardless, I thought Hardy won it when he hit the swanton. Then Sheamus had his leg on the rope, and at that point I was like, okay, so it looks like Sheamus is gonna win the match, which he obviously did. But I really enjoyed the storytelling of. I'm right with you with the whole, you shouldn't use his whole past and the drinking problem, the drug problem, but
it's just too personal, I think,
Yeah, without a doubt. But I think the way the storytelling was still good, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll have to see where this goes next, and hopefully they start to turn away from the drinking and drug problem.
Well, no, they're not, because this Friday on SmackDown is a toast to Jeff Hardy, and Sheamus, he's a big drinker.
Yeah,
he's Irish. He drinks Guinness. He drinks, and it is interesting that they're using a guy who has an alcohol problem like Jeff Hardy to feud with a guy who drinks a ton, right, but doesn't have an alcohol problem. Because just because Sheamus drinks a lot outside of, in his life, in his personal life, doesn't mean he has an alcohol problem. So I think it's a little weird that they're doing this. And it makes it, again, also more real. Because if Sheamus, if you follow Sheamus, you know that he's a big, Irish drinker. So obviously, I've never heard of any history with Sheamus as far as drinking. He doesn't really have an alcohol problem, but it's weird. It's just weird, man. And I'm ready for it to be over. I really am. I'm not cool with it. And Sheamus and Jeff Hardy, I think, is a match we've probably seen 5 years ago. So It doesn't need to, it's not like it was a dream match that needed to be checked off the list, you know?
Right.
So that's my take.
That's fair enough.
Sorry to
moving
kill
on-
the mood on the match. I know you
Oh.
really liked it, but
Oh,
to me
no,
it's
no,
just
no. Not a problem.
it was just okay for me, you know.
Yeah. And
It was better
that's why
than the
we're
next
here.
match.
We're not going to talk about, we're not going to agree on everything. That's why
Right.
we each have our
But
own
you know, I'm
opinion.
just saying, like, I know a lot of people like this because it was a good match that was well put together. That's what I was trying to say. And
Gotcha.
yeah, I mean, but do something different with Jeff Hardy after this. You know, I'd be interested to see if they let him go off and do something like Matt Hardy did. You know, when they gave him that real short period of time where he was broken Matt Hardy. So, or woken Matt Hardy, my bad.
Yeah.
Woken.
But moving on, honestly, I think this was the biggest disappointment of the night.
Big time. The result in the match itself was
It
disappointing.
actually ended in a double count out, but Asuka faced Nia Jax for the Raw Women's Championship. Do we really need to say much else other than to end in a double count out?
Where's Kyrie? Nia Jax yells. And I'm like, dude, why? You know, I hate when
Exactly.
Nia Jax talks. She's annoying. Nia Jax, to me, I used to like watching her just because she was intimidating, but to me now, I'm all set. You know, that's why I wasn't looking forward to this match, and I really wanted to see Asuka make her tap out or pass out. And that was my initial thought here was Nia Jax coming back a couple months ago or a month ago or whatever, looking like a monster like that. And I didn't think they were taking the title off Asuka, so I thought they were just going to make Asuka look that much stronger by beating this monster. But then they have it end in a double countout, which is a cowardly way out of having anybody lose. You know?
Right.
And I don't know, man. Just
I
shit
mean,
match.
I don't understand why they're still trying to build up Nia. Like, one of
5
my
years
friends,
later.
one of my friends said that Nia honestly should go back to developmental to try and improve.
NXT or
I guess that's what he's trying to say. And
nah, I don't think it needs to go that. I don't think it needs to go that far, but I think definitely, again, do something different with her. Change her up. Don't make her a face, but just not the same stuff as normal. You know, not the same Nia Jax that we've always seen for like 5 years.
right.
But yeah, horrible.
But regardless, definitely hope to see more from Asuka as Raw Women's Champion. I hope they really don't destroy this title reign like they did her previous SmackDown Women's Championship reign.
Oh, they will.
Like, it's such a
They
disappointment
will.
too. Like, Asuka is one of the best female wrestlers on the roster right now. But NXT, they did great with her, of course.
Oh,
with the
Asuka's
whole
the best
undefeated
women's.
streak.
Yeah, Asuka is Asuka's the best women's wrestler on the main roster right now. I'm trying to think,
Yes.
like, you know, and it's like people are going to be like, no, Shayna Baszler is, but is Shayna Baszler even on the roster anymore? And if she is she a wrestler? Still, to me, she's more of like a cage fighter.
I think Shayna Baszler is great in the ring, but she's not a wrestler like Asuka is. Like, like you said, more like a cage fighter. And I like that she brought that to the WWE. I'm absolutely okay with that. She still puts on some pretty good matches. And, you know, she's obviously still very dominant. Hopefully she comes back soon. I really want to see her win a women's championship again sometime in the near future. But that's all out of our control. So we'll just have to see what they do. I think an Asuka. I think they should do another Asuka versus Shayna Baszler match because I feel like they did one like on a Raw or something.
They did. I think.
And that match could really be a banger.
I think she beat Asuka.
Yeah. of course, you have the Asuka lock versus Akira feud of clutch. You could make it about that, like who has, which is more devastating than though they're.
Ooh, do a submission match.
Exactly.
Do a submission match.
I think that would be a great way for WWE to head in the direction of doing. But
do a long feud of them. Do a long feud of Asuka just yelling a bunch of random stuff in Japanese, and Shayna Baszler not talking at all, biting her, and maybe not biting her again, because that should only be done once. That was a special thing when she bit Becky on the neck. But doing different, doing stuff like that Shayna Baszler would do, that would be a good feud if you could stretch that out for like a good couple 2-3 months, and have like again Asuka yelling, being the very vocal one, Shayna being the dirty heel who wasn't talking and coming from behind and hitting her submission all the time. Asuka could break the green mist out again. You could do a submission match. I would like to see like 2 of them in a cage, because you have that whole cage fighter thing going for shit. Yeah, so like they could have like even a 3 stages of hell match, man. Like do you remember the days of 3 stages of hell? Or do one of those, man. There's my proposal right there for the WWE. Like if I could talk to somebody right now, I'd be like, hey, when you get that Asuka Shayna Baszler feud going, do all that stuff. The green mist.
Heck yeah.
Have Asuka screaming. Have Shayna quiet and come from behind all the time. Do a 3 stages of hell match. Do a submission, cage, and bring back the first blood match, man. Like and Shayna could win it by biting her. Yeah, Shayna could win it by biting her.
Dude, that would be amazing. I'd love to see that. The 3 stages of hell match, I think the last one we had was in 2013, but it wasn't.
That's how Shayna wins it. That's how Shayna wins the title right there. Asuka wins. Shayna wins submission. No, Asuka wins submission. Shayna wins cage, and Shayna wins first blood by biting Asuka. Women's title to Shayna right there.
Yeah, that would be great. It reminds me a lot of the Triple H versus Shawn Michaels. Think about how brutal that 3 stages of hell match was back in, 2002, 2003?
Oh, like 2002, I think. And that would obviously, the 3 stages of hell would be at the end of the feud, and that would be, after normal matches. Like 2 normal wrestling matches between them, that maybe that's where you get your double count out, or that's where you get your disqualification, or that's where you get some type of, outside interference from Kairi Sane, or the green mist or something, that gets Asuka disqualified, or, I don't know, man. Like, something, a bunch of stuff to lead up, good storyline, good build, to lead up to that 3 stages of hell match. And that's what I want right there. But that will never happen. I would be a lucky man to ever see that happen. We all would.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
But that's what WWE 2K is for.
Exactly. Even though the last 2K game was absolute trash.
Was it?
Oh my gosh, so many online glitches. And there's a chamber glitch where like your leg gets stuck in the chamber.
Oh, I heard about a bunch of stuff that glitches. But I used to get the games every year, and it was my favorite day. Like, I swear to you, to the entire year, like, I would be in school all day long thinking, and games used to come out, I remember, on Tuesdays. And it was GameStop, man. I'd be in school all day thinking, like, I can't wait to get this game. I can't wait to get this game. I can't wait to get this game. And I miss those days, man. I don't really get the games anymore. I'm not a big gamer anymore, but I love video games, and I still play once in a while, but I'm not a huge gamer. So, and I heard now that they're kind of doing away with the 2K, and they're doing like this Superstars game or whatever, and they're like all jacked up and big and stuff.
It's called WWE 2K Battlegrounds.
I'm good, man. It's not realistic.
I saw in a commercial that you could throw somebody like into an alligator or something.
I'm good.
It's not realistic, but it looks kind of fun. I'm not gonna lie.
It looks fun. Like, I would definitely play it, but like, if I'm a little kid right now and I want a WWE game, that's not the game I want. I want your normal video game where you can play like storylines and all that. And maybe this has that. I don't know, but it just doesn't look real. It looks cartoonish and dumb.
Yeah.
So I don't know why they're doing that. I'm not sure.
We'll have to see what it's like when that comes out. I believe it comes out in October.
Yeah, you let
or
me know
November. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So after the Raw Women's Championship match, we had another handicap match with Braun Strowman in it, defending a singles championship. At least Braun retained. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yep. Yeah, thank God.
I was really
imagine if Morrison won.
Or The Miz. Imagine if either of them won.
Yeah, or The Miz. I mean, but Miz has done it before. But I was thinking in this match, like, oh my God, what if this is Morrison's WWE title win? I mean, it would be a slap in the face to make it a 2-on-1, but it would also be cool because he's never had a major title.
Right.
So, but I'm glad that didn't happen, and I'm glad that. Listen, here's the thing. You can't have co-champions for me. Obviously, this wasn't going to be co-champions. It was going to be one or the other winning the title. But when are we going to get a crowd back? Because, and nobody knows. I heard rumors that it was July. We're almost there. I haven't heard anything since, that was about a month ago. Yeah. I can't watch this anymore, man. Like with Braun Strowman, I need a crowd. With Drew McIntyre, I need a crowd. I'm not saying they're not exciting without a crowd, but this title run for me is stale as all hell. Drew's is better. Drew's is much better. Braun's has only been okay just because of the fact that Miz and Morrison are making it interesting now with the stuff that they did with his car and kind of like and they did music videos here and there and stuff, but I don't know. Braun, I didn't want him to lose, but I kind of did. It's just like, dude, I don't really want to see you as champion right now. There's no crowd. This is boring. This should have happened 3 years ago with a crowd. Right. And I don't know. It's no knock against Braun. I do want to see him as champion, but it's just not working for me right now, dude. Not working. So thank God for Miz and Morrison for making it good.
Yes, and now it looks like, of course, we're going to get Braun Strowman defending
versus Otis.
Title. No. What? Did you hear that?
What?
I don't know. I heard something like, I don't know if it was like my stomach, but I heard something like
I don't know, but I heard that it's gonna be not Braun and Otis. It's gonna be Otis going for the tag title.
No. I'm talking about just now. Like I heard like somebody like it was. I think my stomach growled or something. I don't know.
Sure. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
I didn't.
Anyways, yeah.
What were we talking about?
Like we were talking. You said Strowman versus Otis. I don't think that's what we're gonna get. I think what we're gonna get is Strowman versus Wyatt again, obviously. And
the Fiend. Yeah.
I don't think it'll be the Fiend. I think they're gonna have the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt come out.
Oh yes, that's right. Listen, they did do that on SmackDown, huh?
Yeah. And that's what.
Is that just mind games? Is that continued mind games? Or is that actually going to be the match?
See, for me...
waiting, wait for the crowd to come back for the Fiend, though. Wait for the crowd to come back for the Fiend.
For me, you have the Eater of Worlds Bray Wyatt lose in a championship match against Braun Strowman, and then that'll set up Braun Strowman versus the Fiend, and then the Fiend gets back the Universal Championship. And... definitely I'd say have like a mini feud with Braun and somebody else in between the Eater of Worlds and the Fiend matches, like they did with in between the.
Well, yeah. So what would be good is like you said, if Eater of Worlds Bray now Extreme Rules, and then they can go to SummerSlam, and whether that has a crowd or not, I don't know, but they can go to SummerSlam, and what they could do at SummerSlam is have Braun feud with somebody else. And during that feud, until the Fiend comes back, he can play mind games during those that whoever that feud is with Braun.
Yeah.
So with Braun, say Braun's facing, let's just say he faces Miz 1-on-1 or something, or Morrison 1-on-1, then you can have the Fiend come back into that feud, you know? Or
I
maybe
don't
he
know
faces
what
Miz
this-
one pay-per-view and then he faces Morrison the other to really, because they really need to stretch it out until they get a crowd. So maybe they're going to go the 2-on-1. Maybe then they're going to go 1-on-1 with Miz,
And
1-on-1
honestly,
with Morrison.
I don't mean to cut you off, but
Give
I
somebody
think
a chance that you would never expect.
I think that definitely makes Braun's championship reign look that much stronger.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, because he can win matches through mind games.
yeah, it's not like he's facing Bray Wyatt in every Universal Championship match. You know,
Right.
he has other matches, like for instance against the Miz and Morrison.
Yeah, so
So-
if, and if he wins those matches, he's got to retain that title to face the Fiend at the end of this. So if
Obviously.
he's winning, if he's getting, distracted during matches or before or after matches, or getting attacked before or after matches, this is the stuff I'm talking about that should happen. Then he still wins these matches and retains his title. It makes him look that much bigger and better, and then he gets to the Fiend
Yes.
and loses. And then he gets to the Fiend and loses, and it makes the Fiend look that
strong.
much stronger as well.
Yes.
Because now he's beating the guy that got through all his crap, but now that he's here in person, he's that much better than Braun, because he should be Braun.
Yeah.
I love Braun, but
And-
Fiend should be.
Obviously, and I think that would definitely help kind of diminish the fact that Goldberg beat the Fiend at Super Showdown.
Mm-hmm.
So
And then next year at
I-
WrestleMania, Roman Reigns will beat the Fiend for the title.
yeah, because that
I think that could be like the long term. That could be the long term deal here, and I love Roman Reigns, but the WWE's not giving up on this man. Even when he comes back, I mean, he's going to be the long term plan probably, because they wanted to put it on him this year. He deserved it every bit.
That's the whole reason they put the title on Goldberg, because
This was his redemption. This was his redemption from cancer, and he was supposed to win it this year at Mania. So they have to give that to him next year at Mania, and it's going to be Reigns and Fiend. It's going to be next year. I'm calling this now.
Right. But the reason that they set it up for Goldberg versus Reigns before the whole pandemic happened is because the Fiend was so over with the crowd that they were afraid that Reigns was going to get booed if he beat the Fiend. So that's why they gave Goldberg the title, so the crowd would cheer.
Right. Yeah, I'll make that prediction now. Fiend comes back and wins the title whenever there's a crowd, and I'm going to guess and say maybe Survivor Series. Okay, let's just say Survivor Series. Because
I'm going to go... I'm going Hell in a Cell.
Okay, maybe something in the fall, okay?
Yeah.
Fiend comes back, wins, and then, like
Fiend
you said,
has a few title matches, have Roman win the Rumble maybe, and then...
Eater Worlds loses, Fiend plays mind games, comes back, wins title, maybe even faces Braun again and shuts the feud down by beating him twice, and then...
Oh, yeah, I think the Fiend definitely needs to have, you can't just go right from the Fiend win the title to him facing Roman Reigns and losing the title. You have to have some feuds in between there.
Right. And then Reigns can win the Rumble, or do something really big.
Win a chamber.
No.
Like your number one contenders.
He's already done that.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
But he's also already won a Rumble, so...
I don't want to see him win a chamber. I'd like to see him win a Rumble, though, and this time he'll get cheered for it.
Honestly, I want to see the Fiend inside the Elimination Chamber.
Oh, that'd be scary, man.
Yeah.
With the red lighting, when he as soon as he comes in, the whole thing turns red. Yep.
Yes, that would be great.
Yep. All right,
and
so
watch it be Firefly Funhouse Bray instead of the Fiend. No, I'm kidding.
No way.
Moving on.
That'd be horrible. I'd never want to watch a chamber again.
But
then again, it could be cool because he could have his puppets pop up in there,
right?
And but I'd definitely rather see the Fiend in the chamber.
Oh yeah, without a doubt.
But
and it goes back
long
to
long career ahead. So maybe they could do one and then they could do the other sometime down the road.
Yeah, and it goes back to what I was saying in the Money in the Bank canvas critique. of course, you had Strowman playing games with Bray Wyatt at Money in the Bank by putting the whole black sheep mask on. But just imagine if they didn't do that at Money in the Bank, but they did it when Braun Strowman was actually facing the Fiend. I think that would have been crazy.
Yeah, that would have been crazy. Yeah, but I think the reason why they didn't is because the Fiend doesn't know about Black Mask. You know, that's more
right. And the Fiend, they probably didn't want to have the Fiend lose again so soon.
No, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah. Regardless, Strowman, of course, is our Universal Champion for now. We'll have to see if our predictions are right. Obviously, I think we have a lot of good ideas. We should honestly work for WWE Creative, but that'll never happen. So
we'll call tonight.
You'll call?
We'll call them tonight, and we'll get a job.
All right, sounds good. All right. Well, moving on, we go from the Universal Championship to the WWE Championship. Drew McIntyre defending his WWE Championship against a very strong Bobby Lashley. He has a new finisher, which I'm kind of iffy about.
I'm very iffy about it.
You know, regardless, he's still dominant. And he had him attack McIntyre before the match started. Mm-hmm. And there was a point I actually thought he was going to win the championship.
Here's the thing. Yeah, I did too. But here's the thing. MVP is the MVP of this feud. He is for me, he's the star here, which is not supposed to be. He's supposed to be the third piece of this party. He's actually supposed to be the fourth piece of this party because Lana is supposed to be even ahead of him. She's supposed to be getting more shine, and she's supposed to be getting put over more than MVP. But he's so good at what he does, he's better than all of them. And that's no knock against any of them, because they're all doing a good job. I mean, Drew McIntyre, he's just a natural beast in the ring. You know, I think he's got a pretty good character now. I didn't like him when he was a heel. He was good. He was a good heel, but he was boring to me. I think I've told you this before. I really didn't latch on to Drew until he won the Rumble. Like, I always knew he was good in the ring, but character-wise, I didn't relate to him until he turned a face. But I don't know. Lashley is Lashley, and I like Lashley, but you know, and he's an animal in the ring, man. And if you look at video and picture of him from when he first came up in 2006, he is probably either the same size or bigger, and that's incredible to do through a 14-year span. And to stay in that shape. He hasn't aged a day. He hasn't aged a day since I first seen him.
Look at his Instagram. Look at him posting on Instagram his workouts. He has a bodysuit with like mats on it, and he's working out, and he is a hard worker. He's obviously, like you said, impressive that he's still in the same shape, and you know, I really hope they do something with him in the near future. I really do.
So this is MVP, and he's doing a great job, but you know who this is supposed to be, right?
Drop it.
You know who's supposed to be in MVP's place, right?
Not Lana.
No, not Lana.
What, are we going to go back to Lio Rush?
That's who this is supposed to be. But moving on. Anyways, you know, and that's not his fault. That's the company.
I'm glad Leo went back to NXT before he left, though. I think he had a good run in NXT.
Oh, absolutely. He had a great career. He had a great run in NXT with his Cruiserweight Championship. He was the star down there.
Yeah, he won a match at Survivor Series.
I'm just telling you.
Cruiserweight title.
I'm just telling you who this is supposed to be. And it was him, and he did a better job at it. But I think MVP's doing a great job because he's just, man, I never really was a huge fan of MVP during his first couple runs, or his first run in general. I don't know if he left and came back, but I think it was one long run. And I don't know, I was never a fan. I grew up watching him. He came up, you know, in my younger days, but he definitely wasn't one of my favorites. And he has become, over the past 3 months or so, since he returned, he has become one of my favorite people to watch on Monday nights. I love watching MVP. I just think he's a great, he doesn't look like he's acting like anyone. He just looks like he's that guy, man. He's a businessman. He is that guy that is just super arrogant, and he knows he's better than everybody else, you know. And
see, I think the problem for me when Lio Rush was Bobby's hype man was just because I didn't really get to see Lio as much in the ring, and that really disappointed me because I know he's 24. He was 24.
25.
25 now. But yeah, like you gotta give him the chance to wrestle while he's still at a fresh young age.
Right.
But you know, they did what they did. Lio was very entertaining as a hype man. He did a great job of annoying the crowd to get them to boo him. So great heel work there. But
yeah, he annoyed them. He never annoyed me.
Oh, he never annoyed me either. I thought he was great.
I enjoyed watching him, and I miss him. But obviously, you know, MVP's doing a good job. Drew McIntyre and Bobby, good feud. You know, it's weird finisher for a power guy.
Full Nelson, yeah.
Well,
I mean, we saw it with Chris Masters.
But Chris Masters is not Bobby Lashley, dude. Come on.
That's true.
I mean, I don't care, like, how big you are. I'm talking power guy, like, not just size-wise, but Bobby Lashley's a power guy, dude. Like, he's got an awesome finisher as it is already. He also has the Dominator, which he hasn't used in a while.
Yes.
He's got the spear, and his spear is not like any other spear, and I'm not saying it's the best spear of all time. No way.
No.
The best spears are Edge and Roman Reigns in my book.
Yes.
You know, you can't really get better than that. You can't, you know, and Goldberg has a different spear, and I love his spear as well. You got the Gore from Rhino. You got all that. But Bobby Lashley's spear is definitely not the best. But it's cool. It's powerful. And for a big man to jump up in the air like that, spin over on his back, take the guy, like, he chucks the guy, like, 10 feet while he's spearing him, too. Like, he doesn't just spear him to the mat. He spears them, and they fly, dude. So,
it's almost like...
why does he have a full Nelson?
Kind of like a combination between, like, Edge's spear or somebody else's spear along with Keith Lee pounce. Like, that's kind of what it's the combination of, I see.
Yeah. So.
But
good match. Drew's champ.
Yeah, good match. I think that I didn't really like Lana at the ending, to be completely honest, but goes for storytelling. So with that, we move on to, in my opinion, the most entertaining segment of the night, Street Profits and the Viking Raiders.
The Viking Prophet.
Yes, this was amazing. I loved this.
Everything that has happened between these two teams has been amazing. All the events they've played in, their unity through it all too is like, I don't know, you don't see that often. I mean, I know we've seen it in the past with teams coming together and, you know, not being full on enemies, but this is different and I like it. I really like seeing these two. They're two so totally different teams, and they're bonding and uniting, but they're also competing and fighting against each other, and it's freaking awesome, man. And then to see, you know, like Tozawa and the Ninjas and them, you know, come together and try to fight them off in the middle of their own brawl. But yeah, this is cool, man. Really good.
Oh, I loved when Ivar stuck out his hand and you had the turkey leg. That was great. That was amazing. And, you know, honestly, they're kind of making Ivar look like a fool. But, you know, at the same time, like, we know how destructive the Viking Raiders can really be. And, of course, you have the whole, you know, whenever they do something, you have the female. Yeah. Ivar,
you're cute. You not so much. That's so weird, man.
It's weird, but...
Yeah. Bowling ball was involved there.
Oh, yeah.
Golf clubs involved? I think they brought, like, things back from the events that they were involved in. Am I wrong about that? Bowling ball, I think there was golf clubs. Someone pulled a golf club out.
Clubs. They had the axe and the shield.
No axe. There was an axe, right? And a shield. Yeah. They brought all the stuff out from all their events.
Yeah, that was cool. And then, of course, like you said, the Ninjas came out. And this was an interesting twist.
Well, before that, the best part of this entire brawl here was Dawkins spearing Ivar through the glass
Oh,
door.
yes. Yes.
And then you just see Ford and Eric, like, peek from around the corner, and they look up, and they're like, oh, my God. You know, you could just see their eyes and them looking up. That was a cool moment. You know, that was cool. That was cool for this match.
And
but,
of course, you had the whole thing with Braun Strowman's car involved near the beginning.
Yeah. He's definitely been at the auto body shop a few times in the past couple weeks.
For sure. But regardless, very entertaining segment. I'm actually looking at this CBS Sports review, and they gave this segment a C-, which honestly should not be a C-. I think we can all agree on that.
Yeah, what's the deal with the tall ninja?
At first, I thought it was Shaq. I'm not gonna lie. Even before Big Show came out, at first I kind of thought it was Shaq. But then I was like, oh yeah, he's definitely too skinny to be Shaq. And,
no, I knew that wasn't Shaq. Is this going to be a new wrestler? Is there a guy, or are they just using it for a little story here? Is there a guy in NXT that big? That looks like him?
I think so. I don't think somebody who's like made their like debut in NXT yet, but I think
like
somebody
a recruit?
that they
yeah,
I think a recruit, they just buffed him up straight to the main roster.
I don't know if he's not bumped up to the main roster. No way.
Well, yeah, like you said, I think they're just using him for this short little storyline.
They're using him for a storyline, but I think he'll eventually work his way up. I mean, or try to at least. But yeah, good segment here.
Oh yeah, I was laughing hard. It was great. And of course, after this, we move on to the main event, which was build up as the greatest wrestling match ever.
It was the greatest wrestling match ever.
You think it was the greatest wrestling match?
No, I don't. Hell
okay,
no.
Thank you.
I was just calling it that because that's what it needs to be called for this, and I don't know why. But legends, both of them are legends, and they did put on one of the greatest. It was one of the greatest matches of all time. I don't know where it ranks for me, though. I mean, it should never be. I know we're not supposed to take all things completely serious, but it should never be a build-up of something like the greatest wrestling match ever. Because what if, I don't know, just like what if one of these guys got hurt early on in the match and they couldn't really compete to their fullest potential? Mm-hmm. And, I mean, look at Edge. I mean, he did tear biceps. Thank God it was late in the match. But, I don't know, man. Like, it definitely wasn't the greatest wrestling match of all time. I've seen so many great wrestling matches, and a lot of that's going to have to do with the stage it's on, the crowd, the energy in the building, and I know it has 95% of it has to do with the performers, but there's a lot of other things that play into it, and they did pipe in a crowd here.
Yes. And
I'm sitting there, I'm like, wait a minute.
Of course, you had.
Did those 10 people in the crowd just get louder, or?
Oh no, they.
Did they pipe in a crowd? No, they piped in a crowd, man. And good for them. Good for them for finally doing something, because it's been brutal.
You had a lot of tributes. You had Howard Finkel doing the ring introductions.
Yes.
I think that was really cool. They were obviously past ring introductions because I'm sure he's announced both of them before. So
yeah,
I'm sure
but the
they went back
MSG
and
microphone.
took clips. Yeah, but great tribute to Howard Finkel. And, I think he's definitely the greatest ring announcer of all time.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. No doubt about it. Him and Tony Chimmel.
Yes. And personally,
Charles
for me...
Robinson.
Yep, Charles Robinson wearing the old garb.
And the bow tie.
Yeah. They really did go all out with this match. And, I tell you what. For what the match was, I think it might be a top 10 all time.
It's possible. I don't know about that. There's too many great matches for this to be in the top 10, I think, just in my opinion at least. But there was a lot of good stuff in here. You had like different moves. I believe there was like a rock bottom in here from Edge.
Yes, rock bottom. There's an angle slam.
Angle slam, an unprettier for Christian.
They needed to call it the kill switch. It was obviously a tribute to Christian. I don't understand why they didn't call it the kill switch. That really pissed me off.
Well, because it was called the Unprettier.
Well, it was, but then Christian called it the kill switch for the last few years in his career. So I think they should have called it the kill switch. But I don't know. That was one of the little things for me that I just
pedigree. Orton hit a pedigree.
Yeah, and honestly, I think they should have ended the match off with the first RKO.
Yeah, to put that move over to be one of the greatest of all time, which it is. It is the greatest finisher. It's the greatest finisher, I think, for me. Like, I know a lot of people have used it in the past, not maybe in WWE, but it's a common wrestling move, the cutter. But I think, you know, the way Orton hits it, and the way Orton hits it, he hits it better than anybody ever. Nobody will ever hit it like that. And just knowing who it is who hits it, and how many matches he's won with it, how many titles he's won with it, how many great moments he's created with it, the RKO out of nowhere. Like, let's put this move. Let's let everybody kick out of every move, and then finally, you know, Edge will hit the spear, Orton will kick out, Orton hits the RKO, over.
Oh no, I don't even think Edge didn't hit a spear before the RKO.
He should.
The RKO came first.
But he should have hit the spear to put Orton over more, because this was more about, I mean, I know it's Edge's story, but it's more about, like, Edge already had his day, man. So he's really here to cement Orton's legacy even more, because Orton, let's face it, man, you know, he's great, but when was the last time he held the title? And I'm not saying he has to hold one, but there needs to be something to boost his career a little bit. Now, going forward, if you don't mind, go ahead. Orton has, for me, been stale the past couple of years, just because he's been not doing a lot, right?
Right.
As of recent, he's been doing more, but here's what they should be doing. Ric Flair should be his manager.
Yes.
Going forward. Orton should be the legend killer again going forward, for the time being. And he should take down legends now that there are more legends to take down that he hasn't taken down before, because over the years there's been more guys that have grown in the business that can be considered legends. There's guys like AJ Styles is a legend. I know they feuded. Nakamura is a legend. I know he's not a WWE legend yet, because they don't give him the opportunity to be, but he's still a legend. They can still use names. It doesn't have to be guys like Triple H, Shawn Michaels, you know, it can be guys like that too. I don't know if Shawn's going to come back for another match or not, but legend killer again. Orton as the manager, right?
Yes.
I mean, I'm sorry. Flair is the manager, and then when Orton decides to go off on his own again, he gets rid of Flair by finally killing his legend by RKOing him. Because have they ever feuded? I know they did, like, very briefly when Orton left Evolution, but it wasn't anything. I think that's
really it.
It wasn't when Orton ever had his day. And I'm not saying Flair's gonna have a match now, but I'm just saying, like, he never really killed the legend of Ric Flair. I don't think. Maybe they did have a short feud, but it involved, like, Triple H and Batista being by Flair's side, and Orton being real young and still a little bit green, you know.
And
so
I think,
like the Orton that he is now.
Of course.
So have him finally end that story. Because the thought I was thinking, you know, last night watching Raw, seeing Flair, I thought Flair was going to, like, low blow Orton from behind. Then I'm thinking, no, he's not going to do that. He's got no reason to do that. I'm thinking Orton's going to turn and RKO Ric Flair, saying, like, dude, I don't need you. I'm Randy Orton, man. Like, I'm 42 years old now. Like, I'm not a 25-year-old kid. I don't need you. Just end the whole thing. Because Orton, the only one he's ever stuck by his entire career has been Ric Flair. Right? Yeah. Orton doesn't have any other friends. It's been Ric Flair. So, and it was Edge until now, but I don't know. That's me. Yeah. Get rid of Flair at some point. Just give him a nice RKO, and that'll be the end of that.
Yeah.
Gotta think ahead,
sure.
you know?
I'm not sure if they're gonna do that though on camera, because
Why?
of course when you had Batista come back last year, he attacked Flair, but nobody saw the attack. I think they're like, I don't.
Yeah, but
Flair might not be in condition.
Oh, he can take an RKO.
You think?
Dude, come on. You don't think so?
I'm sure he could.
It's not a Batista bomb or a power bomb. Like, it's
Yeah,
an
that's
RKO,
true.
you know. He's just got to take a straight bump to the mat. I'm pretty sure he can do it. I don't know. When was the last time he took a bump? Well, didn't he a couple years ago? Didn't he take something like a super kick or maybe like I don't know, man. I feel like someone did something to him like a good 3-4 years ago. When he was first with, like, when Charlotte first came up on the roster and he was like around her a lot. I feel like someone put their hands on him. Nothing major, but he can take a bump.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, since then, obviously, he's had a heart attack, I think, or
Well, I
was
think
it
he had,
like a
he had heart
fifth
attacks before that
stroke
too.
or something? Yeah.
Well, I don't
Yeah.
know the man's condition, but A plus match. I mean, an A match for me. A. Not
You
A
know,
plus. It wasn't the greatest.
I was talking to my friend about what they're gonna do with Randy Orton in the future now, like you said, moving forward, and he said he came up with the idea of, rather than have Orton be a legend killer, you could have him be like a rookie killer. And I'm just like, why? Because you're just gonna bury young talent. But
No, that's not. You don't want to do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
but I mean, it was an interesting idea when I first heard it, but then I was like, but yeah, you're gonna bury younger talent, and you don't really want that to happen. Unless
I mean,
it's-
there's always ways to do it where it doesn't bury him, though. You know, you can have like rookies go after him and be like, "Hey, look, we're gonna kill your legend, dude." Right?
yeah, that could work.
We're gonna kill you. You think you're the legend killer? We're tired of seeing you go around killing legends that we grew up watching. We're gonna kill your legend now, right? But then in the end, you know, they can get up and over on Randy Orton a bunch during the story. But then in the end, Orton can win the match and the feud. I mean, it's not going to hurt anybody, I don't think. So, I'd be down with that. I'd be down with that. I could see that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see what happens going forward. And, yeah, that pretty much wraps up the show. So, once again, great episode of Canvas Critique. Thank you for joining me.
Guys, thanks for coming on. Thanks for joining us on Canvas Critique. I can't believe we're already, 3 episodes in?
Yeah. And, you know,
3 or
hopefully
4?
many
This
more
is
to
3.
go. This is 3, yeah.
Yep. Yeah,
And,
looking forward to it, man. We got some good stuff coming up.
Yeah, and of course, the next one should be on Extreme Rules. And really quick, once again, I'm very sorry that there was no predictions contest this time for you guys. But regardless,
Shame on Josh.
hopefully
for that.
there'll be one for Extreme Rules. Not hopefully, there will be one for Extreme Rules. So just keep your eyes out. And of course, if you win the Extreme Rules predictions contest, you have a chance to come right here on the podcast with Joey and myself. So
Yes, sir.
make sure you participate in that. And once again, thank you guys for watching. Make sure you guys go check out Joey's music. He has music out on SoundCloud and on YouTube if you look up Deez Joey Deez.
I do.
Yeah. You do.
Oh. Memory problems, I guess.
Well, come on, Joey.
I forgot. But anyways, go ahead.
Fair enough. I have, of course, you can follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well at Deez Joey Deez. And of course, make sure you guys follow me on Twitter and Instagram at LongneckJosh. Links will all be in the description below, and we will see you guys in the next episode. Deez, any final words?
Nah, man. Thanks for having us. Thanks for having me, Josh, back on the Canvas Critique. And we'll see you guys next episode.
All right, we'll see you guys later.
I'm a all living, I'm a soul dripping. I believe it.